I'm Stuart Maclean. I'm CFO for Brother UK. I'm also head of European transformations and head of European shared service for finance for Brother International Group in Europe. It was fairly old-fashioned. We used to, for expenses, we had a lot of paper-based usage across our European offices. So yeah, people filling in Excel spreadsheets and printing off and then stapling receipts and then walking across the office, wandering around, or even posting them in. I remember back in the days you used to get an envelope stuffed full of receipts, paper receipts. That's what we used to be prior to Concur. And then we went live in the UK first of all with Concur as a solution, and then following the success of that, we rolled that out across Europe as well. So we worked very well with the implementation team, and we were actually introduced to one of your partners, Concilio, as well, who supported us and did a fantastic job across Europe. So on our original implementation, we worked directly with Concur when it was just the UK. It was obviously a more simplified implementation for us. And then when we chose several years later to expand it out across Europe, we worked obviously with yourselves at Concur and Concilio. And then internally we had an internal project team working with me for finance transformations that we managed that rollout quite successfully across Europe. Did take it in stages. We didn't do a big bang approach. We chose to do a country by country approach, just to give, I suppose, more consistent approach and a bit of a softer landing for people, particularly around change management, moving from paper-based into something more digitized and electronic. Given the length of service that we have in Brother, sometimes that change management piece, really we care a lot about our employees, so we want to make sure we get that right. I think the first thing is communication. It's all about communication. Just keeping people informed, letting them know what's going to happen and keeping them updated. That's something we were really clear that we wanted to achieve, but also listening to their feedback. You know, that's a key thing, I think, in change management, is taking people's feedback on board. You know, at the end of the day, those people are closest to the process because they're the users that are using the expense system or using the Excel spreadsheet or whichever process and solution you're talking about. They're closest to the details, so actually taking on board their feedback, which we were keen to do, and we still do that today in other projects in Brother. Again, it's something we're very keen about, you know, kind of letting our employees know that their opinions are valued. We can't always deliver what they want, because otherwise we'd have a system that would be configured for 300 individuals rather than a standardized solution. But we do take their feedback on board, and they know that we listen to it, and where we can, we'll actually flex to be able to meet that. So we're using Concur Expense at the moment. We're just about to launch with Concur Travel. We deliberately didn't want to bring travel on board at the same time, so we wanted Concur Expense first. That's been successfully used across Europe for a number of years now. In terms of benefits, there's a number of key benefits for us. First of all, in terms of that automation piece, but also part of our finance transformation program in Brother is around standardization. So to actually have a single standard tool for employee expenses, for their company credit cards, for their out-of-pocket cash expenses, you know, that's really beneficial because then it gives us access to standardized reporting. We get a European view as well as a local country view. So yeah, in terms of the benefits for finance, it's allowed us to automate some of our month-end processes around particularly finance and employee expenses, expenditure, things like accruals at month-end. We have automated reports now. As well, I think around the governance side, you know, Concur has really robust processes that we put in place that, you know, so it has our policy loaded into the system. It has, you know, an approval flow, so managers are approving. It also then goes through to finance, and then we're actually also using the audit service in the UK for Concur as well. So we get that governance check every step of the way, which helps, particularly, you know, expenses is one of the most complex areas, particularly when you're talking in the UK, especially around entertaining versus, you know, employee meals and things for sustenance. So actually to have that extra governance check in place is really valuable for us. We also have the consultative intelligence reporting. So that was something we added on a little bit later along with the audit service, because what we found was, although the reporting function is very good in Concur, it's too good almost. It's quite complicated to use. So, and because we only have very small expense teams, that actually, because of the structure we have across Europe, the employee expense management often sits within a person alongside other roles and responsibilities. We don't have dedicated employee expense teams. So actually for us to be able to upskill and train people on how to build reports, that's something we were struggling with. So sort of liaising with our account manager and sort of discussing that issue, they suggested consultative intelligence reporting and the benefits that could bring. So yeah, we took that service on board. We've really seen the benefit there as well. A lot of those automations I talked about for finance around month end have actually come from the consultative intelligence team, because it's really great. You know, we can specify reports exactly how we want them to be. We can specify, do we want them emailed, and if so, to who and what frequency. But we can also have them loaded into our admin section so we can run them ad hoc. So if we get an audit requirement in the middle of the month, we can run it mid-month. We don't have to wait till the end of the month. So for us, it gives us that real flexibility.